Today I'm going to discuss about corruptions. Corruptions are commonly na problema dito sa Pilipinas. So, what is corruptions? Corruptions is an abuse of entrusted power for personal gain. It occurs when individual in position or authority engage in dishonest or unethical behavior to benefit themselves or other unfairly. Corruptions can take many forms such as bribery, embezzlement, nepotism, and fraud. Karaniwang nangyayari ito sa mga gobyerno o pribadong sektor ayon sa suhol o pandaraya, nepotismo at iba pang uri ng katiwalian. Merong 5 types of corruptions, which is bribery, offering or receiving something or value to influence decision. Ito ay isang suhol. Madalas itong nangyayari sa mga transaksyon sa gobyerno, tulad ng pagbibigay ng pera sa mga opisyal upang mapadali ang isang proseso o makakuha ng pabor. Halimbawa, sa mga asensya ng gobyerno, may mga ilang kawani na tumatanggap ng lagay para mapabilis ang proseso ng kanilang mga dokumento. Embezzlement, misappropriation of funds or asset for personal use. Ito naman yung pagnanakaw ng pondo. Maraming kasos ng ghost project sa Pilipinas kung saan ang pondo ng gobyerno ay nawawala o napupunta sa bulsa ng mga opisyal imbis na gamitin sa mga pampublikong proyekto. Nepotism and favoritism, giving unfair advantage to family member or friend in hiring or business deal. Ito naman is maraming opisyal ang naglalagay sa kanilang mga kamag-anak o kaibigan sa posisyon kahit hindi sila kwalipikado. Halimbawa, sa politika may mga political dynasties na nagkakaroon ng control sa isang lugar sa pamamagitan ng pagtakbo ng magkakapamilya sa iba't ibang uri ng posisyon. Sa fraud naman is deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. Ito naman is yung pandaraya. Karaniwang itong proyekto ng gobyerno tulad ng overpricing ng mga kontrata o peking prosiment. Halimbawa, sa pagbili ng mga overpriced na kagamitan tulad ng laptop, medical supplies at mga gusali na hindi natatapos. Extortion, forcing someone to provide money or favor under threat. Ito naman is yung pananakot o pangingikil. Ito ay nangyari kapag ang isang opisyal ay gumagamit ng kanyang kapangyarihan upang makakuha ng pera o pabor sa pamamagitan ng pagbabanta. Halimbawa, may mga insidente kung saan hinihingan ng protection money, maliliit na negosyante upang sila ay mapinsala. And meron naman dito is cause of corruptions, lack of transparency and accountability. Weak institution allowed corruptions to go unchecked. Ito naman is maraming transaksyon sa gobyerno ang hindi malinaw sa publiko o kaya madaling dayain ang pondo. Poor governance, inefficient legal and political system encourage corruptions. Ito naman is yung ang mahinang pagpapatupad ng batas ay nagiging dahilan kung bakit hindi agad napaparusahan ang mga tiwali. Low salaries and economic hardship, official may resort to corrupt practice and financial security. Ito naman is yung mababang sahod at kahirapan. Dahil sa mababang sahod, may mga opisyal na natutuksong gumawa ng katiwalian upang mapunan ang kanilang pangangailangan. Weak law enforcement. If law are not strictly enforced, corrupt individuals escape punishment. Mahinang pagpapatupad ng batas. Maraming mga kaso ng corruption na hindi na umuusad dahil sa palakasang system o impluwensya ng mga makapangyarihang tao. Cultural acceptance in someone's society. Corruption seems as normal way of doing business. Minsan sa corruption ay tinatanggap ng bahagi ng mga sistema kaya marami ang mga hindi lumalaban dito. Meron naman dito is effect of corruptions, economic consequence, reduce investment, increase poverty, and hampers economic growth. kahirapan at hindi pantay na ekonomiya. Imbis na pagpunta sa pondo ang mahalagang proyekto, napupunta ito sa mga bulsa ng tiwaling opisyal. Dahil dito, mas lalong lumalaki ang agwat ng mayayaman at mahihirap. Political stability undermines the democracy, weakens institution, and erodic public trust. Kawalan ng tiwala sa gobyerno. Maraming Pilipino ang hindi nagtitiwala sa mga leader na dahil sa paulit-ulit na katiwalian. Social inequality. The rich and powerful beneficial while the poor suffer. Mababang kalidad ng serbisyong pampubliko. Dahil dito, corruption na hindi matatapos ang proyekto tulad ng kalsada, paaralan at ospital. Poor public service lead to an inadequate healthcare, education, and infrastructures. Pagbagsak ng ekonomiya. Ang mga dayuhan ay namumuhan at nag-aalangan magbalak na puhunan ang Pilipinas dahil ito ay mataas na antas ng katiwalian. Sa ways of combat corruptions naman, merong 5. Strengthening laws of institution, enforce anti-corruption laws and ensure strict punishment. Maigpit na batas ng parusa. Dapat ipatupad ang mas maigpit na batas laban sa katiwalang opisyal at siguradihing may pananagutan sila. Transparency and accountability, promote open governance and public scrutiny. Mas bukas ang pamahalaan. Kailangan ipakita sa publiko kung saan o kung paano ginagamit ang pondo ng gobyerno sa pamamagitan ng open data system o digital tracking budget. Sa pangatlo naman is encouraging whistleblowers, protect and reward individual who expose corruptions. Ito naman is yung protection ng mga whistleblower. Hikayatin at protektahan ang mga taong nagsisiwalat ng katiwalian. Raising public awareness, education people about danger of corruptions. Pagtuturo ng tamang pagpapahalaga, ethical and anti-corruption education. Simulan ng mga paaralan at edukasyon tungkol sa kahalagan ng integridad. Sa last is using technology, digital and governance service to reduce human interference and bravery. Pamamagitan ng teknolohiya, ang digitalization ng mga serbisyong gobyerno ay nakakatulong sa pagbawas ng red tape at suhol.
So, how does this corruption affect people, especially the vulnerable or marginalized? Corruption disproportionately affects vulnerable and marginalized populations, worsening their existence disadvantages. These groups, including women, minorities, and people with disabilities, face reduced access to essential services like healthcare and education due to bribery and extortion. They are more likely to be exploited by corrupt officials and less likely to report such crimes due to fear or distrust. Corruption reinforces existing inequalities, hindering social and economic mobility. For example, marginalized women might need to pay bribes for healthcare, while indigenous community may lose due to corrupt officials' collusion with developers. Discrimination in employment is another consequence, as corrupt officials favor their connections. Addressing corruption is vital for social justice and equality.
How does corruption impact the environment? Corruption in the Philippines has a devastating impact on the environment by illegal activities, weakening law enforcement, and masculating resources meant for environmental protection. One, we have the illegal logging. So, Illegal logging is a part of corruption in the Philippines because some government officials accept bribes to allow illegal loggers to cut down trees illegally. Instead of enforcing the law, by the loggers operate freely in exchange for money. Example, a logging company wants to cut a tree in a protected forest. Since they don't have any legal permits, they pay local official to give them a fake one. So the second one is the unregulated mining. Unregulated mining is a part of corruption in the Philippines because some government officials accept bribes to allow companies to operate illegally. Instead of protecting the environment, they ignore the damage caused by mining, exchange for the money. For example, a company wants to extract a mineral from restricted area. So, since they don't have any legal permits, they pay local officials. Pollution and waste management. Pollution and waste management are part of the corruption in the Philippines because some officials accept bribes to ignore environmental laws. Instead of making sure the companies and communities dispose of waste properly, they allow illegal dump and poor waste management for the money. For example, a factory produces a toxic waste but doesn't want to pay for a proper disposal because it has a high cost. Instead, the owner bribes an environmental officer to ignore the pollution. One is the law enforcement. Weak law enforcement is a part of corruption because when laws are not properly enforced, people in power can break rules without facing consequence, and that's unfair for others. This creates opportunities for bribery, fraud, and abuse of power. So the last one is the misuse of environmental funds. So this is a part of corruption in the Philippines because some officials steal or mismanage money that is meant for the nature. Instead of using the funds for tree planting, waste management, or disaster prevention, they keep the money for themselves or spend their on their personal luxuries. For example, the government sets aside a budget for cleaning polluted rivers. However, corrupt officials takes a large proportion of the funds, leaving a little action clean up as they result. The rivers remain dirty cause of death problems of for community. Corruption prevent the proper use of funds, harming both people and environment. Ultimately, this is the five major impact on the environment. Corruption in the Philippines leads to environmental degradation, loss of natural resources, and threat to the public health and livelihood, making sustainable development harder to achieve because of the corruption.
So what are small practices that we can take to address this issue? Well, firstly is report corruption. Isumbong natin ang corruption. So yung corruption, they thrives in secrecy. Kaya, so reporting it is nakakatulong siya ma-expose yung wrongdoings and ma-hold accountable yung mga perpetrators. So, saan nga tayo pwedeng magsumbong? Many countries, meron silang official hotlines, whistleblower programs, and independent organizations na kung pwede, safely tayong magsumbong kapag meron man nakitang na corrupt practices. Also, nakadepende sa'yo kung gusto mong anonymous reporting ito para maprotektahan ka if ever man na may retaliation na maganap. Secondly is practice ethical behavior. Meaning, maging matapat tayo. Iwasan nating mamigay or mag-accept ng mga bribes or suhol kasi even sa small situations, nakakatulong na tong mag-create ng culture of integrity. Also, dahil sa small action na to, nakaka-contribute ka nang ma-reduce yung corruption sa society natin. Thirdly is support transparent institutions. Voting for leaders who prioritize transparency and accountability ensures that public funds and services are used properly. Also, supporting watchdog organizations and media that expose corruption also strengthens democratic institutions and keeps our officials in check. Fourthly is educate others. By raising awareness about the impact of corruption helps empower communities to resist it. Also, many people engage in corrupt practices unknowingly or out of habit. By providing information, sharing real-life examples, and discussing solutions, encourage more ethical behavior. Next is use digital tools. Technology allows people to track public spending, monitor government actions, and report corruption more effectively. Online platforms, mobile apps, and data transparency initiatives make it harder for corrupt officials to hide their actions. Digital activism also spread awareness and mobilize people against corruption. Next is promote fair business practices. By encouraging ethical behavior in workplaces and businesses, reduces corruption in hiring, procurement, and financial dealings. Companies that reject favoritism, bribery, and dishonest transactions set a positive example and help build a more transparent economy. Next is advocate for stronger laws. By supporting anti-corruption policies and demanding strict enforcement of existing laws will help create a legal framework that deters corruption, such as signing petitions, joining campaigns, and pushing for reforms ensure that governments remain accountable to their people. Lastly, but not the least, is engage in community monitoring. Active citizen participation in governance will help prevent misuse of public funds. Also, attending budget hearings, tracking local projects, and questioning suspicious activities make it harder for corruption to go unnoticed. Communities that monitor their resources can ensure they are used for their intended purpose.
How might these actions contribute to advancing God's kingdom? Working towards God's kingdom through anti-corruption measures. As followers of Christ, we are called upon to promote justice, righteousness, and integrity in all aspects of life. Combat against corruption is a fundamental step towards working towards God's kingdom. Some ways our actions can make a difference are as follows. First, fostering justice and righteousness. Through combating corruption, we promote justice and righteousness, which form the foundation of God's kingdom. Second, illustrating God's character. In our fight against corruption, we illustrate God's holiness, integrity, and transparency. Next, building a fair and equitable society. In the struggle against corruption, we help build a fair, equitable Next, building a fair and equitable society. In the struggle against corruption, we help build a fair, equitable, and oppression-free society. Next, expressing God's love and compassion. In fighting corruption, we express God's love and concern for the poor and marginalized. Lastly, advancing God's mission. Through promoting integrity, transparency, and accountability, we advance God's mission of redemption and restoration.